Hey guys, this is Mr. James from the Kenai Community Library coming at you with a Let's Draw. Now today I am super excited about our subject matter. We are going to be drawing the majestic, mighty Alaskan moose. So I hope you guys can grab your pencils and markers and erasers and all that and join me for a drawing today. Now what we're going to be doing though is taking this majestic, mighty moose and we are going to make him more of a cartoony moose. So we're really going to be concentrating on some cartoony, fun aspects of this moose and working on using beautiful line to create this cartoon image. So let's go ahead and get started drawing. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started on our moose drawing today. Super excited to draw a moose. You know, it's been quite a while since I've done any kind of moose, and we're going to be making it very cartoony, which I'm also excited about. Something about drawing cartoons, what makes it kind of fun, is that you can really get expressive and creative, and it doesn't have to have super accurate proportions. You can do that, but for our moose today, we are not going to give it accurate proportions. We're going to just have a lot of fun here, and it's going to be a pretty quick drawing. So to start, I'm looking at my page. It's horizontal, it's side to side, and I want my head to be on the left side because our moose is just going to be moseying to the left. We're going to draw a bull moose today. So to start, I'm going to put a nice little oval for the head. We're going to keep this really simple. And so I'm going to start right about here and just bring that curve. I'm using my wrist as a pivot, and I'm going to bring that curve over like this. And I'm going to bring it all the way back up to about right here. It's going to almost look like a little teardrop kind of thing. So I'm going to bring this over, and I'm going to develop this a little bit more than what we have here. Now that I have my nice curve for the head, let's go ahead and make that a little bit more what I've described in other videos as beautiful line, where it goes from a thick to a thin. So I might keep it thin up here, but as I go down, I'm going to make it a lot thicker here, which I think will help. And this is step one. We're going to tackle our face first of this moose, but look how simple our organic shaped head is going to be. And again, going back up to thin. So see if you can practice that at home, and you can do that with pencils or markers. It just takes a little bit of effort. Sometimes it looks very spontaneous, and sometimes it is very spontaneous, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes you gotta kind of work at it a little bit here. All right, so we have a nice kind of thin to thick to thin edge. Now let's go ahead and finish up some of the details of our moose head. I'm going to put a little mark indicating the top of the head, but notice one thing I'm not going to do is on my whole sheet of paper, there are going to be some sections I don't connect, and I kind of like that look. So we want to do the left ear first, and I'm just going to bring it a little curve up like this. You can even notice that I put a little swoop to it, just a little swoop like that, and then I'm going to bring that down. I'm going to do the same thing on this side, right about here. Bring a curve up like that. Nice little curve, and then down like that. And we can, again, thicken some of those edges if we want to. Kind of like that look. Using a chiseled marker kind of makes for nice hefty lines there. I can appreciate that look. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and put the eyes in, and then we'll add nose, mouth, and antlers, because I want them to be, I'm going to say I want them to be eyes that give this moose really exciting personality. So I'm going to put one eye popping out over here like that. I'm going to put the other eye right about here, about the same going across, starting and stopping point our kind of latitude area. So nice little oval here. And I like that. So we got our two eyes in there. They already have kind of a fun feel. Now let's go ahead and add our nose. Now remember, the nose, we're keeping it really cartoony, is going to be two ovals also. We're going to make those a little bit smaller than the eye ovals, and I'm going to put those right here to make them look a little bit heftier and have a little bit more weight and offer kind of a fun quality. We're going to add a little shadow on the inner part of this nose like this to make it look like it's kind of indented in. That's a fun little technique. All I did was put a little dark edge right there. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. A little dark edge right there. And that did help like that. The mouth, I'm just going to bring a mouth line over. I can see it's a little hefty right here. It's going to come over, and I'm just going to bring a mouth line in like this and maybe go up just a hair. So here is my mouth right there. So we already have, again, very cartoony. Now for the antlers, since this is a bull moose, this moose is going to have antlers. We want to have our antlers super incredibly simple. And the way to do that is I'm going to bring it out in a straight line right here, right below the ear, but above the eye. A nice straight line. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side, below the ear, but above the eye. I'm going to kind of pretend that it goes straight across right here. And I'll bring that over probably to about right here. So we got these marks. And then I'll curve this up, and I might even switch markers here to make this a little heftier. So we have that line, this line, and then I'm going to swoop this up, and I'm going to go three little, 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to bring it down and come in really narrow like that. Such a silly looking antler. Of course, that is not how real moose antlers are, but fun to make them very stylized and cartoony. So I'm going to do the same thing. This almost has kind of like a bullwinkle kind of look. And then drop it down and bring that over. And there's our antlers. Pretty fun. Pretty fun. Now we're going to wait to add the pupils of the eyes till the very end, just because there's so much fun things you can do with the pupils of those eyes. So next, let's go ahead and start to move from head to neck to body and go from there, because our moose is kind of coming at us. It's kind of nice to draw the things more in the foreground. So I'm going to start by pretending that thick neck kind of comes down right from about the edge of those ears coming down. Of course, I'm not going to draw a line over the antler, but I am going to put it right behind the antler like that. And then I'm going to draw a line from just above the mouth. I don't want it even with the mouth, or that could look funny. So just above the mouth, and I'm going to bring a line down like that. Even that being that close is a little problematic, so I might darken that edge a little bit more to help. Yeah, I would probably even recommend maybe even going a little bit higher, just because that does kind of visually connect, and that's maybe a bad note right there. That's all right. We'll still keep going with it here. So next, I'm going to go ahead and put those bull moose have a big kind of hump right here on their back, and we're going to do that. This is going to go behind this antler and then come down right here and come down. So that is the hump on the moose's back. And then we're going to bring the rest of the back over to about right here, I think is good. So you can see, if we're measuring, that the back of this moose, if we go straight across, is just a little below the eye. Remember, when we're drawing things, we want to keep measuring. It's almost, and I've told my students this before, it's almost like putting kind of an invisible grid over your drawing, trying to keep proportions in line. I really like doing that. So if you look at the ear and you come straight down from the ear, what's hitting that edge? Or if we look straight down from this edge of the eye, where's our nostril lining up? Those kind of things is what you want to look for. So next, let's go ahead and we're going to bring the area right here below his neck down. I'm going to put a nice little curve to that. I like that. Just like that. Now we're going to have some nice long moose legs. One thing I love when I get to see moose coming into my backyard is how long those legs are. It's just so impressive. And even though I've lived in the state for decades, it is always amazing to see moose. I never get tired of it. Okay, so we're going to bring this area down like this. And I think I'm going to stop right there and start to add our legs going this way. So for this first leg, coming straight down from this kind of junction where my antler meets the back kind of bump on his back here, straight down from there is where I'm going to put this leg. And it's going to come down, and not too far down from here is where I want to add those kind of bulging moose kneecaps. So I'm going to put a little bump like this, and then I'm going to bring that down further. I'm going to curve it as I go down, about like that. Remember, moose have really long legs. So I have that here. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring the back of this leg down. I'm going to kind of keep it like this, and we're going to go all the way, and I'm going to kind of bring it out like this, widening it as I go down for a nice, fun, cartoony look. So we have that leg in place. Now we can go ahead and add this other leg. And I'm going to do the same kind of thing where I'm going to go just a little ways down. Notice where I added this. It's not too far from this one. I'm going to say maybe about where this junction here, if we're visually going straight down from there. And then I'm going to add another kneecap right here. Boink. And then add this here. Might thicken that up a little bit. That's kind of fun. And now I can go ahead and add the back of that leg. I'm going to keep it real skinny on this side. Make it silly. Okay, so I have two moose legs. And remember, they have those hooves that are split hoof. And so we're going to do that on our moose. And I think on this one, I'm going to bring it. It's kind of fat right there, so I'm going to turn my marker. And I'm going to bring one mark over like so, come over, and we're going to keep this very simple kind of moose foot. Do you see how I did that? It's just two little zigzag marks like that. And then we can top that off with a little bit of fur. Like that. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to bring this over. Now this foot's going to be pointing a little bit more at us, and I want to make sure that this leg here, just for the aesthetics, even though it's cartoon, you still want to add those kind of realistic aesthetics, which would mean I want this leg to be a little bit longer than this leg, only because it's closer to us. So I'm going to do that, but I do want to thicken this line up here as I go down. Right about there. Now I'm going to bring this over, and I'm going to go ahead and put another mark here and bring that over like that. So this foot is a little bit bigger. A nice cartoony foot, and I'm going to try and fade this from a thick line to a thin line, like so. And then I can also add that hair right here. Like that. Okay, so we got our two long front moose legs. Now let's add the back ones. We're going to pretend that this goes through that leg and pops out on the other side right about here. And we're going to bring that over. I'm going to say to about right here. About right there. I might hefty that line up. I'm going to do the same here. And that would be somewhat realistic because our shadow would be cast under there. Okay, that looks pretty good. So we got a nice hefty line there. Now let's add the front leg first, and then we'll add the back leg. So for this front leg, when I say front, I mean the leg closest to us, and then we'll add the one further back, even though this is the back leg. So I'm going to bring this over like, I'm going to bring it over to about right there. Um, and this one I'm going to bring down like so and curve it. You want to offer that nice curve. I think that adds something when we do add that, because that we're going to kind of make it a little bit more realistic, and this is offering that it's not quite a digigrade leg, but it does have that nice little back, and I'm going to bring that all the way down about even right here, and then this one's just going to do a nice little curve down like so, and then thick to fat like that. You can see how this little lump really helped to make this look like this is a member of the deer family. It does help with that, so I'm going to bring that down, curve this over, and then we're going to do that split hoofed again. Kind of a fun look. There we go. And then the back leg. And now the back leg that's further back here, I'm going to have that one kind of trotting a little bit, so we're going to bring this one over about right here, and then I'm going to bring it here, and I'm going to start to bring that split hoof down like this, bring that up. We're going to keep these little points a little closer together, and then I'm going to bring that over like that, because this leg is being raised up there. I almost could have made that leg a little longer, but that's okay for our purposes. You know what I might do is just put a little edge like that to kind of make it look like, hey, that's going further back there. And maybe we can thicken that line up there. Okay, so we have our moose kind of walking a little bit. Let's go ahead and add a little bit of fur right here. That, some quick little fur. I might even do the same thing up here maybe. Like so, kind of like that. And I think I don't really need to add too much more, so I think that kind of covered it. Okay, so now let's ground our image, and then we have to add those pupils. So what I might do to ground my image is just a little light background, since it didn't take us that long to draw our moose. So I might even today add a little line. I'm going to pretend I go straight through, connect my line here, go through, connect it. A nice little hill my moose is walking on, maybe a bush over here. Like this, maybe a bush back in here. Something like that. So we got a little area, a little foliage where my moose is walking. We can even add another hillside if you wanted, all kinds of fun stuff. But it's kind of nice to have your figure grounded. You can even add a little bit of grass right here. And it could be just a few marks, something like this. Lines, a little bit marks right here. Even a little bit more under here would be kind of nice. Some lines, some grass there. So that kind of helps just ground your image a little bit more. Okay, final step is those pupils. Now you can experiment this. Those with pencil, grab a pencil, put your little dot, and see if you like it where you want to do it. Now I practiced right before I was drawing this on what I wanted to do, and we want to make our moose really cartoony and make him really fun. So I'm going to give him an interesting personality by adding my pupil, not very big, right here looking at the viewer. But then on this eye, I'm going to have this eye, the pupil going a little bit up. You can certainly add an eyelid. You can add all kinds of different things right here. And I would say practice with a pencil. See what you want to do, and see it. You can make your moose give the personality that you want to give it using those eyes there. So anyway, I really hope you guys enjoyed drawing a moose with me today. Look for future Let's Draw programs coming, and hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'm going to go ahead and sign my piece here. Like that. And I look forward to seeing what you guys came up with. You guys take care.